cook? That one thing I would say is, where would you say to someone like me? I'm quite good at cooking and I can do little bits and pieces, but I'm not very good at throwing things together or going, okay, I've got that in the cupboard and that in the fridge and this meat and I can make this together. Have you got any ideas or resources for inspiration for things like that?
Yeah, I mean, one of the first things that I did at the start of lockdown was do a store cupboard inventory, just to see what have I got, because sometimes we have a shopping list and we blindly probably reuse that same shopping list, probably more often than we should. And then there's things in our cupboards that don't get used. So my key thing has been, and I did have to discard some stuff that was out of date, and that's my bad. But it's how can I actually make this dish interesting and exciting? And a store cupboard can bring ingredients to life. Say, for example, there's so many things like there's so many things you could do with a leftover roast. For example, you could do biryani rice, for example, so or a Middle Eastern rice and use up some harissa. So it's having a stock of some of these spices and these pastes that can then transform ingredients into whatever you like. So when you go out, what are your favourite type of meals and dishes that you tend to go for? Because I would say try and recreate those dishes at home.
Yeah, well, me personally, I love Italian food, but I also love curries and anything like that. And like I say, the husband's very good at that. We were literally just talking, next week is our wedding anniversary. And he was like, right, I'll cook you dinner. We'll have a meal in. We'll do that. And we were discussing what we might have. And I think he was saying that some curries, but I'm just like I say, with the spices and things like that, I'm just not really sure what goes with what. Is it just a case of experimenting or just going on Google and having a little look? Or
I would say choose a dish and then do the research. I mean, if you like curries, I can give you lots of recipes for curries, because that's my thing, and I can direct you to my website, because I'm a firm believer in, because the difference between the Indian food you're used to in many restaurants and home food is like night and day. And I'm really keen because a lot of people are intimidated by cooking Indian food, for example, because of all the long list of spices. And I'd say, don't be fearful, because actually there's only really probably garam masala and turmeric and cumin. If I look at my masala box, I tend to use the same kind of ingredients. And I like the recipes and the home recipes that I like to share, I strip right down so they're easy and they're accessible. So I'm going to challenge you, Sarah. I'll challenge you to my chicken curry. Any ingredients you don't have, I can send your way. And it's really easy if you follow the step-by-step process. I promise you, it's really easy.
I'm totally up for that challenge.
If you love your food, that's all you need. You just need to have that interest. Anybody can be a good cook. I firmly believe that. Amazing. I can teach you.
Thank you. Very excited. What are you like, Claire and Robyn?
I like cooking, and in our house, by choice, I do all of the cooking. Matthew does the cleaning and I do the cooking, partly because he's not very good at cooking. We'd literally get burnt toast. So I do like to experiment, but I kind of at that point where I probably have about 8 staple dishes that I'm just sick of now, because they're just on a rotating cycle. I need to kind of experiment with a few new things. My 2 girls in lockdown actually have become miles more adventurous with what they're eating. So I've made a few curries, and normally they wouldn't entertain them, but they've eaten them. They've eaten chilies and they've eaten things where I made a Thai green curry. And they've actually tried a few things and gone, oh, I actually like that, which has now made me think this is probably my time now when I could maybe experiment a bit more with some dishes and try a few different things out with them. Because I do enjoy cooking, partly because I don't have to clean up the mess. I can make so much mess and Matt sorts it out.
I'm the same. I really like cooking, and probably like Claire though, I've got like a cycle now of like one go-to recipes, and I do like gradually adding a new one every few weeks or something like that. But I do find that I'm really slow when I do a new one. Like it says, oh, it'll be 40 minutes, and I look and I've took 2 hours, and I'm like, what have I been doing? Like I must not be very good at time management when I'm cooking. I don't know what it is. I think I should read through the full recipe, but I think I'm just doing it step by step and not, I don't know.
I think you're being hard on yourself. I applaud you for having a go at something new. It doesn't matter that it takes longer, but you know, it's exciting, isn't it, to cook with something new or cook a new ingredient. And you know, ultimately you're expanding your skill set and you're becoming a better cook in that process. So you should applaud yourself.
I think I need to as well. Right, I'm terrible at doing something because I change things all the time. Go, oh, I'll try this one, and then my partner will be like, oh, that was really nice what you made 2 weeks ago, and then I'm thinking, I can't even remember what it was. I can't remember where I got the recipe. So I think I need to create like a little, I don't know, like my own recipe book of the ones that work out well or something. But usually I just get recipes off the internet, just Pinterest or. But I like cooking Spanish food, so I do loads of like paellas and we love tapas because I suppose that's like a buffet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say the only issue with mine is a bit like Claire with the vegetarian is I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't have any dairy. So it's always trying to find an alternative, which I'm pretty good at now.
I think there's so much range in the supermarkets for plant-based meat alternatives, and also, you know, vegan product range is brilliant now. So it helps so much. But be inspired, you know, and you know that's. I think for me, when cooking and when you're resenting being in the cooking, it's because it's become a chore. So I guess, you know, you have to look at why has it become a chore and how can we dispel that. And for me, it's cooking new and exciting things and getting the whole family involved, and getting some inspiration from the rest of the family too. Because particularly in meal planning, sometimes you sit there and actually, you know, the telly's on and you'd probably rather drink a glass of wine and watch the TV rather than think about this long list now for the supermarket. And if you've got that inspiration from other members of the family, it makes it so much easier, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Would you do something different every week? Do you tend to have that sit down once a week and kind of, or just certain things work that you repeat?
Yeah, we do. There are certain dishes. My boys love pasta too. And I guess for kids, when you have kids, it's trying to pack in as many vegetables and honey to those vegetables, really.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, so you know, in a spag bowl, you know, how many vegetables can we pack into this really without them noticing? And that's another thing to, you know, batch cook and freeze. And even with curry sauces, so I freeze my curry sauces. So then, you know, if we decide upon a chicken curry or a prawn curry, you've got that versatility, and it's knocked up really quickly. And you know, it's an easy win then, isn't it?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great idea. I love all these little tips.
Yeah, I think I need to maybe experiment with more meat and fish and things. I'm very much stuck to just chicken and possibly a bit of beef every now and then, and that's about as varied as it gets, really. And then I look at some of these recipes and they're using, like, I don't know, pork, seafood, different fish, sea bass and everything. And I try them when I go out places and I absolutely love them, but I never buy it to me at home.
Yeah. And how do you think you'd feel about cooking with these different ingredients and these different proteins and meats? Would it excite you?
Yeah, I think it would, because I think I used to be a strict vegetarian, so I'm not a massive big meat eater, but I've always liked fish. And I never buy it. I don't know why, because I love fish. And I'm kind of done with chicken now. And I'm just sick to death of having chicken. And I buy it every week and still cook with it all the time.
I mean, fish is one of the ultimate fast foods, I think, because it cooks so quickly. It's really easy to cook. And I think the less you fiddle with fish, the better. So, you know, just plain grilling it is a great way to cook it. And I was talking the other day to somebody, and I think pork loin is a really underrated and underused meat, and it's as lean as chicken. So I guess you girls think quite you know, a lot about you know, the balance of your meal and probably having you know, not too fatty meats. But pork loin is great because it's very lean and not very often used. So I couldn't find some chicken the other day for a stir fry, so I ended up using pork loin, and it was delicious, absolutely delicious.
And it's not expensive either, is it? Pork loin, it's not really expensive. Some meats are obviously more expensive than others, and I suppose you can always kind of get chicken quite cheap, but I did Hello Fresh for a while, and one of the dishes was pork loin, and it was so nice. And I did try and recreate that, and I've made that a few times since, actually, with pork. It was nice.
Yeah.
I think naturally the isolation and the lockdown has made me a little bit more adventurous in that, like you say, with chicken. And what I found we went to the supermarket, they'd run out of chicken, they'd run out of salmon. So the things that we would normally go to week, chicken, salmon, mince, steak, all of those things were either gone or they had like one packet left. So we were forced to not try, because I would, like you say, Claire, I would always eat those things when I go out. I just don't really cook them at home. But we were forced to get other bits in, or like we've been using tofu quite a lot as well, which I really, really enjoy. And it's so easy to cook, and so easy to add flavour to that, isn't it? And I think that we've been ordering like some veg boxes in as well, and again that's like sent different veg in, whereas I normally just grab broccoli, cauliflower, all the normal things. We've been getting aubergine and leeks, and the aubergine oven roasted has just been like mind-blowing, and it's still like a delicious, healthy, really easy meal. So I think, again, hopefully this is something that we can carry forward after all of this, is to be a bit more adventurous and to pick up something different off the supermarket shelf that isn't expensive, like you say, but it's something we'll probably normally just overlook and automatically reach for the things that we know we're confident with and they're safe for us to use.
And Sarah, you talk about aubergine. I mean, I've got some great recipes for aubergine. So literally, if you just halve it, slash it, bit of oil, bit of seasoning, and a bit of ras al hanout, and just oven roast it. So it does the hard work for you. When it's melt in the mouth and silky, it's just absolutely delicious. Yeah. And I've also got a smoked aubergine curry, which is again really easy, and it's just delightful.
I literally need to go and eat some food now. No, I love aubergine, and I would love to try different things and get more confident and use this time to get more confident. Because I think there's been a lot of, like with other things we've talked about on previous weeks, I feel like there's been quite a lot of pressure with cooking as well. Like every single Instagram account, there's been like people baking banana bread or making special coffees or and you kind of watch them and go, should I be doing that? Like I've made terrible cupcakes with Stanley just for like fun to make something to do. But again, I feel like there's been that pressure. But actually, what would be really nice would be to use this time to experiment and grow in confidence and try different things. So I'm 100% up for that.
Yeah, and not everybody's Mary Berry. Not everybody can bake like Mary Berry. You'd think they could, because as a run on flour, I can't get flour for love nor money. But
I know.
There you go. What's all that about? But yeah, experiment and stay within your comfort zone, because you don't there's a fine line between adventurous and being intimidated. So do it with a sense of adventure. And I think it's fun. So you girls talked about snacking. So what are your worst snacks? What's in the house? For you and the kids, what do you find?
Do you mean in terms of like unhealthy snacks?
Yeah, the naughty. Yeah. What are your naughty go-tos?
So like I said, I'm not bad with chocolate. It would have been chocolate, but because I can't have chocolate, I make sure that I get them the full milk chocolate, so I'm not tempted. Otherwise, I'd definitely be sneaking like probably about 5 bars a day. I've got no control with sweet stuff like that. But probably crisps.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I think mine would be crisps. And my eldest has the past couple of weeks has been baking different things. She's been making like these amazing flapjacks that are full of golden syrup
and butter.
She's made a banana bread and things, and so I'm constantly eating all these things that she's making, because it's just there in the house. But that's why I like the idea of those roasting the vegetable peel, because if they're once they're done and they're there in the house, I would snack on something like that. And I was just thinking that from a cost perspective, some of the questions when I was speaking to you yesterday, Sarah, was that some of our listeners have said things that they're finding the shopping bill has gone up significantly whilst being on lockdown, and some of that is in purchasing snacks, because you don't realise how much extra we're going through with the kids being home from school, finding snack alternatives that aren't like, I bought a bag of like mini Snicker things the other day, and I think they were gone the next day, because one of them's had one, then Matt has one, then I have one, before you know it, and they're like, say they're like £2 or something, but they're gone in a day. So if I was to buy one every day, it's like 10 quid a week, 5 days just on mini little chocolate bars. Whereas if I can find, and some people are asking for just snack ideas where you can maybe make your own snacks that, so it's